Good day and welcome back to the coastal temperate rainforest. I am back home in Squamish here on BC's southwest coast. Feels really good to be home. It was a long drive, and although I didn't want to leave the Yukon, it does feel really good to be back in the rainforest, just with so much moss and water everywhere. And yeah, it was an interesting return. I got back. I hit the ground running. I got back about a week ago actually, and I got into town. And within like 100 meters of first getting out of my van, I ran into a friend, my tattoo artist, which was really cool. And then that night, I actually hung out with one of my closest friends, and we went down to Vancouver to go to this ecological music night. So there was this guy who basically hooked mushrooms up to a synthesizer, and then like their energy would play music. That was something I had seen online before. So it was really cool to see him perform in person. And then there was this other ambient band that it's like electronic, but with like a lot of organic sort of nature elements. And then the next day, I spent time with another one of my closest friends. I had an appointment at the hospital, which was the big reason I came back down here. And then I went and I picked up my friend Ashley, who I met years ago at Vipassana, and we headed up the valley for a few days to just camp out and, catch up and spend some quality time together. It was really beautiful out there, and we ended up with really nice weather despite the forecast when we planned this trip being just like all torrential rain. So it ended up being mostly sunny. It was just really good to kind of get grounded and get settled in back here because I was just feeling like a little discombobulated. And actually the night I got back to the coast, I was like really just dizzy and out of it feeling. So it was kind of like good to gather all the parts of myself and like be here. And then after dropping my friend off at her car, I just came into town. I got sushi takeout and then parked in the woods where I slept for like 12 hours. I was so tired from such a busy November so far. And then, yeah, it's just been really nice to be back in the rainforest. Yesterday, I went for a walk at one of my favorite places in the woods just to like savor all the greenery and enjoy the mushrooms and just relax and listen to the sound of the river. I had to give myself quite the pep talk to leave camp today and enter the world. But I realized that tomorrow night I will end up driving after dark and I'm out a headlight. So I went into town and I got a headlight, and then we came out here just to enjoy the last of the sun, although the sun has now set behind the western mountains. That goes down there about 2:30. So the shadows hit this side of the valley first. But it was really nice just to hang out with Frank, and of course he loves grass and sticks and smells and stuff. You're so cute, Frank. You're such a cute boy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, buddy. All right, hello. I've just gotten home to my parking spot for the night in the woods. I just had a really nice yin class at my yoga studio in town, and it's raining. It is actually not rained near as much as I would like because it is super relaxing, and it's been fairly dry or fairly minimal rain since I've been back home, and I've actually been here for a month now. It has taken me this long to sit down and have this chat with you. So this is the rest of this video is going to be pretty much just like a life update, what I plan to do the rest of this winter, how I'm doing, how Frank's doing, just like a little check-in, and kind of like the full story of why a little while back I had taken 3 weeks off posting. And yeah, I have filmed another video before this little sit down, but after all the previous scenes that will come after. So I have been filming. I have 2 more videos after this one to edit. So the ball is rolling. Videos are going to keep coming. But before I get into the big update, I just want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, who is Element. Element is a super tasty electrolyte drink mix with no BS like artificial colors or flavors or fillers or gluten or anything like that. It's just a science-backed blend of electrolytes. It comes in a whole bunch of tasty flavors, some of my favorites being raspberry salt and watermelon salt. But right now there's a seasonal pack on, the chocolate medley pack, that includes chocolate raspberry, chocolate chai, and chocolate mint. So you can enjoy warm on these cool days, whether you're out skiing or going for a winter hike or shoveling the driveway. It is important to stay properly hydrated and replenish the electrolytes lost through salt. And that's because electrolytes play an essential role in tons of different bodily functions. I've been adding electrolytes to my water for years, and since discovering Element, they have been by far my favorite. It's been really awesome to continue working with them, and that's because you guys have been enjoying them as well. So whether it's your first time trying Element, your 10th or your 100th, if you go to drinklmnt.com/tidelinetoalpine and place any order, you're going to get this sample pack included with purchase. And the sample pack includes all 8 of their regular flavors, so you can figure out which one you'd like to try next or share with a salty friend. And this offer is available no matter how many times you've used it. So every time you place an order with Element, go to the link below, get the sample pack with purchase, bonus 8 packs, and that also does really help to support the channel. And one of the great things about Element is they have a no hassle money back guarantee. So if you purchase it and you just happen to not like it, which I doubt is going to be the case, they will refund your money and you don't even have to send the product back. So with that said, I hope you'll give them a try. Consider the winter medley pack, and thanks again to Element for sponsoring this video. All right, so now that the bills are definitely going to get paid, we can get into this big life update. So I'll start with Frank because I know you guys really care about him. He's doing really, really super well. He has a vet appointment coming up in a couple weeks. He goes in once a month to get his Librela injections that have really helped him just have a bit more mobility around camp, although they're not going to undo the damage from arthritis, like his back foot collapsing. But if anything does come up during that appointment, I'll let you know in a future video. Otherwise, you can just assume he's doing great. All his previous checkups, he's really, really healthy for his age, actually. He's currently 11 and a half. And all his blood work and his heart and his teeth and everything are super, super healthy for his age. He just has a physical disability, which is very severe arthritis. And so you've seen in videos his paw wrapped up, and that's because it has collapsed, and so it rubbed raw, and it just needs to be covered now for the rest of his life. But it's not really causing him any distress. The arthritis isn't really seeming to be causing him any pain. He's quite comfortable. He's very happy. We have really fun play sessions in the van and lots of good snuggles, and he's living a really good life. He's in really good spirits. And he's loving life. He just has a disability, and that's fine. And we're working around that and making the best of everything. So yeah, you're going to continue to see his foot wrapped up, and it's nothing to worry about. It's just to protect his paw, so it can continue to heal. It is quite slow to heal, just so it can continue to heal and won't get worse. And because even once it does fully heal, it will still need to be wrapped up just to prevent it rubbing raw again. So as for me, I did come back to Squamish to have a medical appointment. I had to have an ultrasound related to an incident the summer before the one we just had, so like a year and a half ago now, where I fainted and I had a really bad concussion. And we're just trying to look into that a bit. And unfortunately, our medical system here in Canada, like, I'm not paying out of pocket for anything, which is amazing, especially given that I live with chronic illness, and I kind of been spending a good portion of the past 20 years just like kind of always in a process of medical stuff, but I would be financially crippled and not really have any of the answers I have if it weren't for our healthcare system here in Canada. So I do really appreciate that we have socialized healthcare and that I'm not paying out of pocket. But due to pretty rapid population growth in Canada, especially over the past 10 years or so, unfortunately, the funding is not keeping up to population growth. And so wait lists are becoming a lot longer. And that is a big reason why I've maintained Squamish as my home base, is that I do have a family doctor here. And it would be really, really hard to find one anywhere else in BC. And so I've been seeing my doctor here for about 15 years. So he has my history and he knows me, and I can actually get somewhere. It's really hard to get anywhere if you have chronic illness, if you're just going to a walk-in clinic. So I had some testing done, and I don't really have an answer yet. It's led to retesting and further appointments, so it is slightly concerning, but I'm just trying not to worry about it too much right now, and we'll just continue to look into things. But yeah, it's not as great as being told everything's fine, and so yeah, it just is what it is. And that's one of the things about living with chronic illness and just having stuff that comes up as like a normal part of life, is that you can either let it beat you down and break your spirit, or you can just accept it and just like find contentment regardless of what's going on with my body. But it's tiring, because it does feel like I'm kind of always dealing with something. And so yeah, since I had that concussion from fainting, I have had an increase in headaches and just kind of like dizziness. And yeah, I've had some close calls where I thought I was going to faint. So just, pursuing answers. So that was why I came back to Squamish when I did. And I didn't continue to stay in the Yukon. But physical health aside, my mental health is pretty good, but also a little touch and go. I have dealt with body image issues my entire life. And it's just, there's times where it's easier and there's times where it's harder. And for the past few months, it's been a lot harder. And that plays a big role in why I also just took a few weeks off. I had got back to Squamish and I was seeing a lot of friends here. I was really, really busy and really just kind of tired and not kind of getting the type of rest I needed. And that just made it a lot harder to then also deal with body image issues. And so I didn't want to edit. I didn't want to see myself on video. And so yeah, I just took 3 weeks off editing, and so 3 weeks off posting. And yeah, it was just kind of re-triggered this summer by seeing somebody I had considered a friend, and then just kind of their behavior crossing some of my boundaries, in terms of like being dishonest, and also just like reminding me of pretty crappy things they'd said to me about my body early on in our friendship. And I just decided like they didn't have a place in my life anymore. And so I've just been working to kind of get back to accepting myself. And yeah, I'm just like not willing to keep anyone as a friend who is going to judge me for my body, or kind of be embarrassed to be seen with me, or things like that. So yeah, it just felt really shitty, and it's just been kind of hard to deal with the past few months. But yeah, it's really good to be home. It's really good to be around true friends and people that accept me unconditionally, and people that, you know, aren't holding me to this standard of when I was thinner and when I was really fit. People who don't equate my value as a person to how fit I am, and understand that life ebbs and flows and it changes. And the past few years for me, you know, with Frank getting older and adjusting to a new pace of life, and then me having a lot of challenges with my body and chronic pain and stuff, I've just put on weight, and that's fine. And I might lose it again someday. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, it is hard sometimes to not feel good about yourself, and then to see yourself on video is probably one of the biggest challenges for me of YouTube. And then yeah, and then people have to comment on it and are pretty rude, and I'm pretty quick just to block those people from commenting. Well, they think they can comment, but I don't see them, and nobody else sees them but them. So they're kind of just talking into the void. And yeah, that's how I set boundaries on this channel. If you're going to be cruel, I'm gonna take away your voice, because it's my channel and I make the rules. So but yeah, I have not been sleeping well. Even when I get plenty of hours, it's just really low quality sleep. And it just wake up a lot through the night. And I have really, really intense dreams. I'm somebody who's a really, really strong, intense dreamer. And it takes away from my quality of sleep. And it's unfortunate. And sometimes that just makes it a little harder to stay in a positive mindset, or to feel strong against the negative voices in my head. Yeah, it's kind of just like where I'm at. And yeah, it's been good to be home. I will say that. It's been really, really good to be home. And so, you know, Squamish is my home. I've had some up and downs with this place. I've had some very bad, traumatic things happen here before I was living in a van that had made it hard sometimes to come back or to be around. And then with Squamish changing and growing so fast, and it just starting to feel really busy really quickly, just kind of was something I was really bitter about and really resentful about. But I've kind of managed to work through that and found acceptance with the new Squamish, and, you know, kind of try not to get stuck in like the good old days mentality. And so this time around, it's a lot easier to be here. I'm really just able to enjoy it and learning, you know, the new ways to get around town. There's places, say, I used to turn left easily that I would never dare do now, and just kind of rewiring all my habitual driving patterns to have the least issues with traffic, and find new favorite parking spots and new favorite camping spots like where I am right now. And yeah, it feels a lot more like home. It is where I lived for many years before I was in a van. In my first 2 years of van life, I wasn't nomadic. I was living here full time and working regular jobs. And this is where I've always come back to, and where the most amount of my friends are, and where I have a sense of community. And my doctor and Frank's vet, all his records get sent back here in my bank. And yeah, just like my yoga studio, it's the only place that I travel where I regularly go to yoga classes at a studio. I really love it. So it's a nice thing about being back. And that brings me to my winter plans. And they are to stay in Canada. I'm not planning on traveling across the border at all. I want to just have a cozy winter and enjoy the rain and enjoy the West Coast, because Squamish is home. I grew up on Vancouver Island, and lived there pretty much my whole life until I moved to Squamish. And so yeah, just kind of like the whole coast feels like home. And so that's what I plan to do. I plan to spend the winter here. I will hang out in Squamish for a few more weeks, and then I'll probably spend some time throughout the winter on the Sunshine Coast and on the wild West Coast beaches of Vancouver Island. And yeah, just travel around the coast and just try to like take it slow and savor all the greenery and the lushness and the water and the waves and the waterfalls and just like all that good stuff, and just kind of like rest and recharge, because I have some big plans come spring and winter, which I'm not going to divulge now, but I'm very excited for my cozy West Coast winter. And I know some of you will be very happy about that, to see all the greenery and just lushness. I'm excited to share the videos with you I've filmed coming up. Some pretty exciting changes and stuff to my life that I will share with you in future videos, because I'm just not quite ready to divulge those things yet. But the next video I can say is going to be really fun. It's going to be a really fun one. And yeah, YouTube is a really interesting thing. I still get asked what I do for work. This is it. And unfortunately, my YouTube channel has not been performing well. It's kind of floundering, views are going down. There's really pretty much no growth in subscribers. I know, Frank, big sigh. For a while that made me really angry, but that was also a time when I was just angry about a lot of things. I was angry about my channel kind of going downhill. I was angry about bad friends. I was angry about the way I found out about my grandfather passing, and I was just holding a lot of anger for quite a while. And I've just been like, we're going to let go of all that. And, YouTube is what it is. And it's being frustrating because you guys are still leaving really nice comments and rave reviews. And, based on the comments, you guys are loving my videos. And based on the thumbs up ratio, you guys are loving my videos. But then views keep going down. And YouTube keeps telling me, like, your audience isn't showing as much interest. And when YouTube says that, then they don't show my videos to as many people. And so it's just kind of like this negative feedback cycle. And, upon realizing that, I was faced with the decision to, work harder, put up more videos to try to make the same income, or just kind of let it go. And I decided, like, I'm tired. Like, I'm not going to try to hustle to get the same income from YouTube as I was maybe making earlier this summer or in the spring. And that just kind of made it actually a bit easier for me to take a break, especially because, YouTube isn't my primary source of income. Patreon is, and I've continued to post there even when I take a break from YouTube. I've continued to stay frequent on Patreon. I make bonus videos there and, share what I'm up to, and everything gets shared there first. And so it's just been a really nice, supportive place. And it's not based on an algorithm. So the income I make there is because people choose to support me and appreciate me as a creator and want to see me thrive. And so, yeah, what I post isn't based on what I think will perform well. It's just what I want to share. And so it's a really nice place for that. And so, yeah, Patreon and sponsors are actually what is really keeping this a viable career for me, because AdSense from views is really touch and go. And in the new year, they're going to tank. Not necessarily views. I don't know what views are going to do, but I know my views will be worth less money come the new year because that's how YouTube is. And so, yeah, it's really nice that I'm really not actually stressed about what's going on with my YouTube anymore because, yeah, I just feel really, really supported through Patreon especially. And so if you wanted to become a part of my Patreon, I do have a sale on right now through the end of the 21st on annual membership. So if you want to sign up for a whole year in advance, you will save 16%, which is the biggest discount Patreon will allow me to give. And then you get a year's worth of exclusive content without having to do like monthly transactions. So it will probably save you on transaction fees if your bank charges you transaction fees. And there's a public post that's open for everyone to see on my Patreon, just describing the benefits of an annual membership, as also well as some of the bonus perks for joining during this annual member sale. So I will put the link to that post in the description below as well. It'll be right below the element link because I'm contractually obliged to put them first, which is fine because they're a really good sponsor, and having their ongoing support has really helped me financially. So yeah, it's just an interesting way to make a living through YouTube and creating, and you know, there's no stability in it, but there really isn't in a lot of career paths anymore these days, and we're all just kind of figuring out how to get by in a changing world that feels like it's getting more and more expensive every single day. And yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? And yeah, and so yeah, I've talked a lot. This has been a really big update, and Frank is here licking my hand. He wants my attention. And so yeah, I'm gonna say farewell for now and go pay attention to Frank. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the next video. It's gonna be so much fun. There's going to be a special somebody involved that I know is just going to bring a lot of liveliness to the video. So yeah, I hope you're having a great December. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are giving yourself what you need, whether it's slow time or more time to read or do crafts or more time with friends or family or whatever it is. I just hope that you're, you know, looking after yourself, because that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, we can just kind of all encourage each other to do the best we can for ourselves, especially during this often busy, stressful time of year. And I know it can be really hard for a lot of people. So, you know, I'm sending you lots of love and just gratitude for continuing to come watch my videos. It really, really means a lot to me. And ultimately, what keeps me coming back and making videos and sharing is that you're watching. I mean, I wouldn't make videos if people didn't watch them. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.